Sorry. Now, Nightcast, new details in the shooting that killed a Mountain View teen. Who may have been the real target? Plus, a gunman kills 3 people and injures more than a dozen others on a Texas Army post. And jurors reach a verdict in a lawsuit against the city of Anchorage. Coming up, why we can't tell you what they decided. Now on Nightcast, new details on the shooting that killed a Mountain View teen. Who may have been the real target? Plus, a gunman kills 3 people and injures more than a dozen others on a Texas Army post. And jurors reach a partial verdict in a lawsuit against the city. Coming up, why we can't tell you what they decided.
And now, from KTVA 11 News, this is Nightcast.
Thanks for joining us for Nightcast. I'm Joe Vigil. Some stunning new details tonight about a 15-year-old Anchorage girl who was gunned down in her bedroom in Mountain View. Court documents indicate that the suspected gunman had a target, but apparently it wasn't the teenager. KTVA 11's Dave Detling is here with the new information. Dave.
Good evening, Joe. Well, court documents reveal that Precious Alex was simply at the wrong place at the wrong time.
It's so hard, you know. I mean, why target a 15-year-old?
Tonight, friends, family, and neighbors lean on each other for support, trying to make sense of what they call a senseless tragedy.
Her name is Precious, and we call her Nene. There's so many people who loved her.
Yesterday morning, police say 15-year-old Precious Alex was killed when someone fired through her bedroom window. Arrested in connection to the teen's murder, 24-year-old Jamal Townsend and Lamar Burney.
There's no animosity, there's no condemnation. Just people make the choices that they make, and they have to be responsible for them.
Tonight, we're learning the fatal shots that killed the teen may have been intended for her mother. According to charging documents, this isn't the first time Townsend was at the victim's home. The paperwork shows 2 weeks ago there was a fight between him and another man. The fight over a mutual girlfriend, believed to be Precious's mother. Documents reveal before leaving, Townsend fired several rounds at the house. We asked Precious's mom about the fight, but she was too distraught to talk. We tried to ask community members at Precious's memorial. They too were silent with grief and could only ask questions.
Why target a 15-year-old? There's no answer to that.
Now, to help pay for the funeral costs, the family has set up a fundraiser. They'll be holding a memorial car wash this Sunday in Mountain View at the Boys and Girls Club starting at noon. As for funeral arrangements, we're told they will be the following Sunday, April 10th at New Hope Baptist Church. Joe?
Okay, thanks, Dave. A Fort Hood official says the shooter in today's attack was a soldier being assessed for post-traumatic stress disorder. The soldier killed 3 people and wounded 16 others. All were members of the military. A Texas congressman identifies the shooter as Ivan Lopez. The Army declines to confirm that ID, but it says he's married and served in Iraq in 2011. It's also releasing more details about how the soldier carried out his shooting rampage.
It is believed that he walked into one of the unit buildings, opened fire, got into a vehicle, fired from a vehicle, got out of the vehicle, walked into another building, and opened fire again.
The general says the soldier used a handgun to take his own life. 9 of his victims are in critical condition. Fort Hood was also the scene of a mass shooting in 2009. An Army psychiatrist is now on death row for killing 13 people and wounding more than 30 others. A double murder trial continues in federal court here in Anchorage. Jim Wells is accused of killing 2 of his co-workers on the Coast Guard base in Kodiak 2 years ago. The first witness to take the stand was the man who found the bodies. Coast Guard Petty Officer Cody Beaufort says he got to work about a half hour behind his co-workers, only to discover both had been shot inside the building where they worked. Prosecutors say Wells was the only man who could have come and gone quickly without leaving any evidence behind. Defense attorneys say authorities have nothing to directly link Wells to the crime. A partial verdict in the discrimination case against the Anchorage Police Department. Former undercover APD officers Alvin Kennedy and Eleazar Feliciano filed a discrimination lawsuit against the Anchorage Police Department. The case went to the jury a week ago. The jury reached a partial verdict yesterday. However, the verdict is sealed because the judge on the case is out of town. He will return April 21st. Well, it's a problem in many Alaska communities. So what can be done to help prevent domestic violence, substance abuse, and suicide? Two of Alaska's leaders talked about that in Washington, D.C. today. Senator Mark Begich led a hearing on his Safe Families and Villages bill. He wants to give back local control to tribes and communities, saying Alaska has 100 remote villages without any law enforcement. Bill co-sponsor Senator Lisa Murkowski talked about making sure tribal courts have enough money to be effective.
We've got our tribal courts in Alaska. They are making tremendous advances and advantages, but with very, very little funding.
Senator Begich introduced the first version of the bill in 2009. He introduced a revised version last fall. Efforts to increase a key education funding formula failed tonight in a House committee. There was one attempt to raise the base student allocation by $485 over the next 3 years. The current House plan is to boost it by $300 over 3 years. That's about $100 more than the governor proposed. Democrats say the BSA, the amount the district pays per student, needs to be raised by about $400 this year to avert massive school layoffs. House Majority leaders say the BSA is just one component of education funding and are looking at other ways to help districts.
I think it's been a long time since we've taken this serious of a look overall, a more long term of what our educational needs are. And so this bill just really reflects that.
As long as you have long-term funding, it doesn't matter, but the current proposal leaves Anchorage short by about $8 million in the first year, but in the second year causes massive layoffs.
Bill, which makes a lot of other changes in the way education is funded, now moves on to the House floor. Senator Lisa Murkowski again pushed the Air Force to place its next generation of fighter jet here in Alaska. Both J-Bear and Eielson Air Force Base are on the short list to house the F-35. Today, Senator Murkowski continued to lobby the Air Force for the fighter squadrons during a Senate Appropriations Committee hearing. The senator says Alaska's strategic position makes it the perfect location for the fighter jet. Well, a rough ride for someone on a power paraglider today. The person made a hard landing on Potter Marsh just off the Seward Highway around 1 this afternoon. When we arrived, people were packing up the damaged paraglider. Fire dispatch tells us a man ended up in the hospital with minor injuries. Authorities shut down the northbound lane of the highway for a short time. The Coast Guard, police, firefighters, and other emergency responders swarmed the Juneau dock today. Locals were relieved to learn it was just a drill. The scenario, an explosion on a boat near Juneau with about a dozen people in need of treatment for burns and other wounds. The Coast Guard says the exercise helped shore up lines of communication between different agencies, which is critical in responding to emergencies. I hope you enjoyed all the sunshine we had lately, because something else could be in the forecast. Carlos is here with a check in our first forecast. Carlos.
Yeah, we had plenty of sunshine once again today. Very warm temperatures, some of the warmest temperatures we've seen in quite some time for the Anchorage Bowl and all over South Central. But things are going to be changing. We know good things only last a certain amount of time. As you take a look at the satellite radar loop, you can see out in the southwest they have a little more precipitation than they did yesterday. And once again, let your eyes go to the right-hand side of the screen over in the middle of the panhandle. A weak low is still bringing some threat of showers to those folks out there. Meanwhile, temperatures still pretty comfortable. We're in the 30s in Anchorage at 32 degrees, 28 in Talkeetna. And I'm going to come back in a few minutes and tell you how much time we're going to be seeing this sunshine and what those changes coming our way will be bringing us. Joe?
Thanks, Carlos. The ballots have been cast. Now the counting begins. When we come back, we'll take a look at just how long that process will take. Plus, get an update on some of the closest races. You are watching Nightcast.
Good evening, I'm Lori Tipton.
And I'm James Gaddis. Here's a sneak peek of what's in store Thursday right here on Daybreak. Organizers from the Beer and Swine Festival join us on the couch. Tell us about this year's big event, which supports Green Star.
And family fun expert and blogger Erin Kirkland will join us on the couch to talk about her upcoming book release. All that and much more starting at 6 a.m.
We'll see you then.
You're watching Alaska's high-definition news leader with Joe Vigil and Emily Carlson, Chief Meteorologist Carlos Fora, and Sports with Dave Goldman. This is KTVA 11 News Nightcast.
The election may be over, but there are still a lot of votes to be counted before everything is official. The clerk's office still has to count early and absentee ballots and review questionable ballots. The ballot review process is already underway and will continue through the weekend if necessary. Next week, it will focus on rejected ballots. And on Thursday, it will begin counting questionable and absentee ballots. The process is expected to be completed by April 15th. That's when the Assembly will certify the election results. The counting is key because some races remain too close to call. The race for East Anchorage's District 5 Assembly seat is one of them. Right now, Pete Peterson holds the lead. Incumbent Adam Trombley isn't far behind him. The current 11-member Assembly is split 6-5, with the majority supporting Mayor Dan Sullivan. If Peterson is declared the winner, he may well tip the balance of power. And just 200 votes separate the candidates for District 6, which serves South Anchorage. Right now, Bill Evans holds the lead, with Bruce Doherty in a close second. Evans is considered a conservative, which would align him more closely with Mayor Sullivan. Doherty is considered more moderate. And it was a good night for the Anchorage School District. At this point, it looks like its bond initiative will pass. The $57 million package would improve 19 schools across the district. School bonds aren't successful historically. However, current numbers show more voters support the measure than oppose it. And voters didn't seem as eager to spend more than $5 million on improvements to the Lusac Library and local sports and recreation complexes. At this point, it looks like Proposition 3 is headed toward defeat by a fairly narrow margin. This is an issue where early and absentee ballots may have an impact. Supporters of the measure say they are not giving up hope. Tribal leaders are here in Anchorage setting their collective agenda. Coming up later on Nightcast, we'll have details on their annual gathering and some of the key issues getting their attention.
And you may have heard rumors that our weather is about to change. I'll explain that coming up in just a few minutes.
From the Alaska Weather Center, here's Carlos Fora.
Welcome back. Well, we've had this run of sunshine and mild weather for quite some time, and I have a feeling everyone knew that it could change. And it looks like even though we have a bit more sunshine, we are going to see increasing clouds tomorrow And then, yeah, the window opens for a chance, only a chance of some snow and rain. That's going to take place over the weekend. I'll break that down coming up in a few minutes. But right now, it's pretty nice. 32 degrees outside, westerly breeze to 3 miles an hour. And we still have clear skies over most of South Central, including down in Homer and the Prince William Sound areas. But they're going to be getting the clouds first as this storm system eventually pushes into our area. Right now, temperatures right around 30 along the western part of Anchorage, even 30 at Muldoon, but some locations have dipped down into the 20s. I think you will be seeing temperatures drop down a little bit milder than we did this morning when we bottomed down at about 22 degrees. And I think that when we take a look here in South Central, you can see you've already plummeted in temperatures, almost 20 degrees out in Glen Allen under clear skies, 28 degrees right now in Talkeetna, and we are seeing 28 degrees reported over at Portager, still in the 30s in Homer, 36 in Sitka, mostly cloudy skies. Ketchikan 39 degrees, and as you might expect, because of that warm front that's pushing and stalling over the southwest, you do have a mix of rain and snow. And at 38 degrees in King Salmon, you can bet your booties that is rain coming down. Now, Barrow has been reporting some light snow and flurries in the last hour, and it's 2 degrees for you, 25 in Fairbanks with partly cloudy skies, and you have a lot of clouds as the series of storm system and fronts is working its way through the Aleutians. So today's high temperature, 42 degrees. That's the same thing as yesterday, nowhere near the record of 55 degrees. And as we take a look here, you can see there's a lot of activity out here. We have the rain, weak storm system in the Panhandle, and then this complex of lows and fronts that are pushing closer to us as this ridge of high pressure that has been protecting us, giving you all this sunshine, breaks down and moves away. We're going to see the clouds start to increase. Notice how by afternoon tomorrow, we'll start to see clouds, mostly cloudy skies over many parts of the Kenai. We're going to start to see increasing clouds in the afternoon, and I think that by the late afternoon and early evening hours, we'll have partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. And I think that is the way it's going. Not expecting any rain or snow for tomorrow. So what we are seeing is temperature about 23 degrees to start out the day. It's still going to be clear. Then we'll see the clouds start increasing, especially in the afternoon hours. Still going to make it into the 40s, though. So we're not really going to see a cold push of air with this. That's why we're talking about any precip that comes down is going to be a mix of snow and rain. Of course, snow in the overnight and early morning hours. So increasing clouds along the Kenai, temperature still in the 40s for you. Scattered showers south of, say, Juneau for tomorrow as a weak front pushes through, and increasing clouds to the north. Lots of sunshine in the Matsu. I don't even think the clouds will get to you until tomorrow night. And over in the interior parts of the state, also lots of sunshine. Arctic, probably mostly cloudy skies with some flurries. Down in the valley, once again, you're going to see plenty of sunshine. Temperatures, once again, low to mid 40s. Southwest, of course, that's where the rain showers are going to hit first, as well as out in the Aleutians, where it's going to be scattered rain and snow showers. Not really powerful systems. They don't have a lot of moisture with them. So because of that, if we do get some chance of showers, I think that's going to be for us on Saturday afternoon all the way through Monday. Maybe a ½ inch of snow sticking on the ground on Saturday afternoon and night, another ½ inch on Sunday, and then Sunday into Monday, maybe about an inch. But once again, depending on when the precip comes down, it could come down in the form of rain. I think that we will be seeing some sticking snow out of this. But the good news, with temperatures like that out there, it's going to melt really fast.
Right. My kids were sloshing around in puddles today. The boots are all muddy, the pants are all muddy, but hey, they had a ball.
Kids love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then maybe they can build snowmen in a few days.
Maybe they'll find
Depending on your forecast. Yeah, that truck that's still lost in the snow. All right, thank you, Carlos. What issues matter most to Alaska natives? An important gathering of tribal leaders will answer that question. We'll look at their agenda when we come back. Plus, 2 native species will not join the list of endangered species. What that means to the state's economy when Nightcast continues. Native leaders from around the state are here in Anchorage to discuss key issues facing their people. They are meeting for the Alaska Native Village CEO Association Conference. The annual event, now in its 6th year, brings together key decision makers from Native Village corporations across the state. This year featured a new gubernatorial candidate forum. Tribal leaders heard from candidates Byron Malott and Bill Walker. They also discussed one critical issue facing many tribal lands.
One issue we're tackling that's on the federal side is contaminated lands. There's 650 contaminated sites that were transferred to Native corporations. We're all in agreement that the federal government needs to clean those up.
The association was founded in 2007 to provide networking, training, and to share resources. Well, today the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration announced the Southeast Alaska herring will not be listed as an endangered species. Extensive reviews concluded the Pacific herring and Lynn Canal weren't considered to be a distinct population or species. NOAA says the herring population has shown positive trends in both productivity and growth. Also today, NOAA concluded proposed fishery management changes in the Aleutian Islands do not pose a threat to Steller sea lions. This means fishermen will have less regulations to worry about while out on the water. NOAA estimates the change will relieve roughly 2/3 of the economic burden brought on by sea lion protection measures that took effect in 2011. Fishermen could see new regulations in place by January. Coming up next in sports, the UAA track team gets ready for a big weekend in the Bay Area. Rontina's got the details when we come back.
Hey, this weekend the UAA track and field team is getting ready. Oh, my hair fell again. Sorry. I gotta keep it back.
KTVA 11 Sports with Rontina McCann.
This weekend, the UAA track and field team will travel to California. The Seawolves will participate in the Stanford Invitational and the San Fran State Distance Carnival. They're going to face D1 athletes from all over the country. Coaches say the team will split up for the events.
San Francisco State and Stanford, so we'll kind of have a diverse group, mainly distances rolling and a few sprinters rolling at Stanford, and then everybody kind of comes back on Saturday, runs San Francisco State. But looking to kind of just double people up, give them a few more opportunities to hit good times in their events.
The Alaska Aces will be on the ice for a skate around tomorrow after a couple days rest. The team doesn't play again, though, until next Wednesday in Colorado. We won't see the Aces on the ice at Sullivan Arena for a couple more weeks still when they host the playoffs. The Mariners are 3-0 to start the season. Today, players said they're thinking about more than baseball. The Mariners Players Association donated $225,000 to mudslide recovery in Washington. The group says the money will go directly to the American Red Cross Fund designated for that disaster. Next Tuesday at their home opener, the team will also collect donations for the victims and recovery. Tonight, Seattle Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson throws one right over the plate for his other pro team. Wilson threw out the first pitch to Rangers third base coach Gary Pettis. The Rangers selected Wilson back in December from the Rockies. He played in the minor league system from 2010 to 11. Wilson even went to spring training one day last month with the Rangers. College football teams across the country are hosting pro days for NFL scouts ahead of the draft. This is a chance for teams to see players that didn't attend the combine and also check out their favorites. The Washington Huskies held theirs today.
I thought it was a good workout. I thought I completed and showed the arm strength that I needed to show. I'm not a very big guy, but I could throw the ball with the best of them, and I thought I proved that today.
Joe, it's almost time. The NCAA Men's Final Four is this weekend in Arlington, Texas. The Gators arrived there today. Kentucky Wildcats took off this evening. Semifinals are Saturday. CBS will broadcast that national title game on Monday night, so you can watch that right here on KTVA. I'm very excited. Who's your pick? I got to know.
My bracket is toast. I picked Michigan to win it, and they lost a couple days ago.
I'll take the Gators. That's an easy one.
Oh, all right. Sounds good. Good job. Thanks, Rutina. See you a little later. We'll be right back. A singed snowy owl takes his new feathers for a test flight. The owl is recuperating at the University of Minnesota Raptor Center. It came to the center after a bad brush with a methane burner in the Washington, D.C. area. Staff at the center used an ancient process called imping to replace the bird's feathers. Today, he tried out those feathers for the first time. Looking pretty good right there, but he's still in no shape to return to the wild. Oops, he'll be released somewhere in northern Minnesota once he's back to full health. Looking pretty good, though. You know,
Yeah.
at least he got up in the air.
That was a quick landing, though.
Yeah.
It went down really fast. We have a change coming.
Yes,
as far
you've
as
been
the weather
saying that.
goes. And it includes a lot of sunshine for tomorrow, at least the first half of the day tomorrow. Then we have a series of weak fronts that are going to push into the area. Basically, what's happening is our ridge that's been protecting us from any storms coming in our direction is starting to kind of weaken and move out of the way. And because of that, it's opening the door. We'll see increasing clouds, especially by tomorrow night. Then on Saturday, that's when we have a chance for snow and rain. Better chance in the afternoon and in the evenings. Maybe about a half an inch of snow if it falls during the morning hours when it's cold enough. If not, it's going to be rain and wet snow higher up in the hillsides. And then on Sunday, another shot of it coming, and then on Monday the same thing. In fact, even Tuesday we can't rule out the possibility of that happening.
So I'll wait maybe a week to change out the tires, and then after a week we'll see what happens. I'm told I should probably keep them on longer.
Yeah.
I might risk it though. I may take the chance, Carlos.
You know what? Send those vibes out there.
Let's see what happens. All right, that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.
Have a great night.
And now, 60 seconds of sports with Rontina McCann.
Hey, good morning. This weekend, the UAA track and field team will travel to California. That's okay. I look really tired.
And now, 60 seconds of sports with Rontina McCann.
Hey, good morning. This weekend, the UAA track and field team will travel to California. The Seawolves will participate in the Stanford Invitational and the San Francisco State Distance Carnival. They're going to face D1 athletes from all over the country. Coaches say the team will split up for the events. It's almost time. The NCAA Men's Final Four is this weekend in Arlington, Texas. Teams arrived in North Texas last night. Semifinals are Saturday. CBS will broadcast the national title game. That's Monday night. You can catch that right here. Seattle Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson on the mound for his other pro team. Last night he threw out the first pitch before the Texas Rangers and Phillies game. You may remember the Rangers drafted Wilson from the Rockies back in December. He played a year in the minors before his NFL career started. Have a great day. I'll see you back here again tonight.